filming?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're very happy to have the state out of our building.
You were there a long time?
They walked in Sunday. They don't walk in on weekends. And the building inspector came in Sunday, which never ever happens.
After he sits, let him sit down,
Okay,
and then you could just toss them
okay.
and just let him. See, he's looking at you now for the treats, I believe, because he's looking at you when he's wagging his tail. I think he's okay.
Come here. Bentley.
Just bring him in here, Sal. Just let him. There we go. They bounce. I had to call my neighbors and tell them I completely forgot that they may be out in the yard and stuff like that. So I have to call them and say, oh, by the way, if Bentley's out, don't reach over the fence or don't say hello to him or anything. It's a little bit of an issue. And I left her a message, and then she called me back. I said, did you listen to your message? She goes, no. And I would tell her. She's like, okay. I said, just, although he knows you, and he just doesn't know you anymore. He used to know you, now he doesn't know you. Now you're a stranger. Just like everybody else.
Alzheimer's.
He's up to, I told you, $1,200 on the gabapentin.
I had that conversation again today where we were looking at a patient and she gets 300 of gabapentin because she's got a history of bipolar. And right away, that'll flag us to the state because of the amount of medication.
Yeah.
So she's like, wow, this is really a lot. I'm like, do you remember the dog, Jackie? She's like, oh yeah.
1,200. Now let's wait and see if he actually looks at you for the next treat to come. I found out he doesn't like the mixed grill cat food. Doesn't like the chicken.
Stepping on it.
He likes the turkey and giblets. Giblets.
Oh boy. That's the one you missed before.
And there's a guy around the corner who always beeps his horn, says hello to me. Even when he's in the driveway not facing me, he beeps his horn and says hello to me. So he came down last week, and he stopped and rolled down his window. And I was with the dog, so now I'm frantically squeezing the food. I had told him previously, because he rolled down the window, and he said, how's it going with the dog? And I said, I told him the story. He's like, oh. So a couple days later, he rolls down the window, and we're just like from here to there. So feeding the dog the food. He didn't even care that the guy was there. The guy told me something about his tire blowing out. So today he stopped and said hello too. And he goes, he looks like he's doing good. I said, yeah. He goes, I just figured I'd stop and give him a test. I said, thank you. It helps me out.
Absolutely.
So he stopped and said hello, rolled down the window. And
so do you, now that he's on meds more, do you see a difference?
I see a difference when I walk him. He's not pulling as much. He's not constantly looking and swaying as much. But I wasn't looking for signs before.
Right.
I don't know, like he was pulling me and pulling the kids. What? And what, his tail is going, is that what you're saying? I don't think he knows when you say that. You can use.
Well, I didn't want to distract him.
Oh, all right. I thought you were like saying that. Oh, you're all right.
No, just not to distract him.
Yeah, so I didn't notice a difference because I wasn't looking for anything before.
Mm-hmm.
But like the past few mornings, like he didn't want to eat his food. Like he was looking at the people and didn't want to eat his food. Like he didn't like the food. But then by the end of the walk, he was eating the food. So I'm not really sure.
So what kind of body language do you look at him right now to see that he's...
That his ears are down and relaxed. His tail seems to be wagging, that his eyes are not crazy looking, and that when he looks at you, he's looking at you because he wants more treats. Not that he's looking like he wants to come over and bite you. Oh, I never hit start.
Okay.
Well, do you have a timer on your thing, Vince?
Not that I'm seeing.
It's been about 5 minutes.
It's been about?
Mm-hmm.
So Jay's uncle passed, you said.
Yeah.
Was he close to him? Was he?
Very. That's the one that he just went to Myrtle Beach to see. He's very thankful. He's very thankful that he got out there when he did. They called the night before, believe it or not, and his aunt, I call her Aunt Carol, wanted to talk about hospice at home or hospice in the hospital, because they did a cardiac test on him and his heart was only working at 20%, so he could no longer do dialysis. Without dialysis, you're drowning.
Yeah.
So, so I told them that, I would recommend it in a facility, only because you get very limited help at home. Very limited help. You're getting maybe an hour a day. And then the rest is on you, unless you're going to hire somebody 24 hours to be there to roll him and change him. And he's Jay's height, although he had lost a lot of weight because of him being so sick. And he, that night, went to sleep and just...
Well, I guess that's the way to go, right?
That's the way he wanted to go. So they're flying him up. The viewing's Thursday, the funeral's next Friday. So they're flying him up here from Carolina. Because this is where he's from.
Yeah. I know when my mom went from the hospital to, it was a rehab place, but it was going to be hospice. I said, we're going to move you, and she had stopped talking completely. And I said, they're going to move you to a rehab, and she said, one day. I said, okay. I said, you go for one day. You don't like it, we'll see. Maybe you come home, So that was on a Friday night. She stayed Saturday. She died Sunday morning. I was like, she's one day. That was it.
Wow.
I'll show you.
Yeah, and Rosie did stuff on
One
their
day.
own terms.
We were joking. We just had, deaths come in threes. They always come in threes. So we had one that passed away the night before and then one this morning. And it's so funny that the one that passed away this morning sent us a copy of her obituary as she's sitting next to her mom. And this woman is fantastic. We love this family. And we were all like, does she know something that we don't know? We know that her mom has a huge mass that they weren't going to do anything with. But when we went in there to visit her, she was giggling and laughing and sure as shit come in this morning, and I'm following in a hearse. And I'm like, who could that be? I walked in the door and they said Bonnie passed away, and I was like, holy crap.
Instead, we're going to try to put the video on YouTube and send the link to the doctor for her to see the whole, because I had to chop it into all little bits for her to look at. So see if you can do that. Did you ever post something to YouTube, Vince, for film class? Somebody else did?
The school did,
You'll have to
when I was in
figure
high
that
school.
out. Yeah. You'll have to figure that out.
It's not that hard.
Logan is Googling nothing but A&M now, thanks, Sal. It's like, Mom, maybe it would be a good school to go to college. And I'm like,
He's gonna go. They decided that he's definitely,
yes, he's definitely going. Yes.
he's not gonna pass up the. Oh, and I spoke to my friend in text, and she said probably the best way is that we have to get her all of his information.
Okay.
She'll pay and register and pay.
Okay.
This
Then
way
I
she's-
just send
and
the
then
cash.
you can just send
Yep.
however you need to do it with her.
Sounds good.
So
Yeah,
we
he's not
ju-
gonna miss.
We
He's not
just
gonna
need
miss
to
this.
know what ones he's gonna do.
Well, you know what? I don't. What do you think about him trying pitching? I mean, he's always loved. He likes the whole shortstop. He likes being out there. you know, but I don't know. You know, he pitched maybe like twice in his entire life in Little League.
Yeah.
You know, he's never said an interest in it, but I don't know.
Well, what does he think?
Does he want to?
He
to go
gets
and
back
try?
and forth. Like he thinks, you know, he thinks it's a lot of pressure. You know,
I find it hard to watch.
you know.
When Gabe pitched a few times,
Yeah.
I had a lump in my throat the whole time. I was afraid he was going to hit somebody. I wasn't really afraid of the ball coming back and hitting him, more than
That's what you gotta worry about.
I know. I should be worried about that, but I was more afraid he was going to hurt somebody and then feel horrible that he hurt somebody.
Right.
But
Oh.
so, what are the options? There's
Well, there's the one day they have, they call it advanced pitching and catching because it's age. So they have the advanced pitching, I believe, is the 29th of June.
advanced pitching.
Advanced pitching, and the advanced catching is the 30th. Or it's the 30th and the 1st or something.
Okay, but those are two
That's the-
single day ones.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's, right, the advanced pitching is the 29th, advanced catching is the 30th. Then the all-day hitting one is the 1st of July. And then come the 3-day ones, but they don't start till the 6th. There's 6, 7, and 8, and then 9, 10, and 11.
So, the 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, and 11, they're different ones.
Right, the first one is the prospects camp, which is the one that Gabe just went to, where they do all the timing and all that